My name is Ethan, and before anything else, I need you to hear this, because last night, my phone took a photo of me while I was asleep, and the thing standing behind me isn't human anymore. If I disappear after posting this, you'll know why. And please, before we go any further, subscribe so someone can help keep track of what's happening. I might need you to see things I can't. Now let me tell you how this started, because 3 nights ago, my life was normal, and then my phone showed me a picture I never took. The first unwanted photo 3 nights ago, I woke up to a soft ding from my phone. The screen was glowing on my nightstand, showing a notification I didn't remember triggering. New photo saved. That already felt strange. I always sleep with my phone in Do Not Disturb. I opened the gallery. There was a single, brand new image, time-stamped 3:17 a.m. It showed the entrance hallway of my apartment. Dark, empty. Just the long corridor leading to my bedroom, but taken at a slightly crooked angle, like someone shorter or crouching had been holding the camera. I stared at it, confused. I didn't remember dropping my phone or bumping it. I didn't even get up during the night. My first thought was, maybe I rolled over on it. Maybe I hit the button without noticing. I tried, convincing myself it was nothing. But even then, something in my stomach tightened, a feeling I couldn't explain yet. The next morning, I went on with my day pretending nothing happened. Work, coffee, emails, everything painfully normal. But that night, when I lay down to sleep, I felt watched, not from the window, not from the closet, from the hallway. I kept glancing toward my bedroom door open, just a crack waiting for something to move. Nothing did. Eventually, I fell asleep. I wish I hadn't. Because around 4 a.m., when you woke up, my phone had 3 new photos, all taken between 1:56 and 3:03 a.m. I opened the first one. Another picture of the hallway. This time closer. The second one was inside the hallway, unglazed upward like the camera was being carried by someone walking. And the third, the one that made my skin crawl, was of my bedroom door. Half open. Taken from just outside, facing into my room. The door I know I closed before sleeping. I felt ice run through my chest. A human fear. A rational fear. Was someone breaking in at night? I ran to my front door and checked the locks. Still engaged. No scratches, no damage. Windows shut. No footprints. No signs of forced entry. My apartment looked untouched, but I didn't feel alone. On the 3rd night, I set my phone down in a very deliberate way. Screen down. Notifications off. Camera lens covered. I even placed it on the kitchen table, far from my bedroom. If another picture appeared, I needed to remove myself from the equation completely. And I hoped that whatever was happening would stop. But the morning proved me wrong, because when I picked up my phone, there was a single new photo. And when I opened it, my breath caught. It was a picture of me, sleeping, taken from beside the bed, as if someone had crouched down next to me, close enough to touch me. My face was turned toward the wall, my hair slightly messy from tossing and turning, the blanket pulled halfway over my shoulder. But what froze me was the shadow behind me. Tall, bent, leaning over my body, a shape too elongated to be human. Its outline distorted like its limbs didn't follow normal proportions. It wasn't sharp enough to identify, but it was real. And it was in my room. Fear hit me so hard my knees almost buckled. The phone had been in the kitchen, covered, face down. There was no physical way this photo should exist, unless something had moved it. Or something else had taken the picture using something that looked like my phone. For the first time, I felt the situation exceed logic and drift into something deeper, darker. I wanted to call the police, but what would I say? Hi, officer. My phone is haunted. Or worse, someone broke in and took pictures of me, but left no signs. Either way, I'd sound insane. So I tried the internet. Forums. Paranormal threads. Tech. Troubleshooting. Everyone had theories. Glitch malware, stalker, sleepwalking, time, distortion, camera reactivation bug. None made sense. Not with what I was seeing. And deep down, I knew none of those explanations were big enough. None of them felt true. Something else was happening. Something watching me, moving when I wasn't awake enough to defend myself. I started leaving lights on. I barely slept, but exhaustion always wins. And that's when things escalated. The next night, I set a trap. I placed the phone inside a hoodie, wrapped it tightly, zipped it up, and put it inside a drawer. Then I placed heavy books on top, and I slept with the bedroom door locked. If the phone moved now, something impossible was happening. At 6 a.m., when my alarm went off, I hesitated to reach for the drawer. My hands were shaking. But when I opened it, my stomach twisted. The hoodie was unwrapped. The zipper undone. The phone lying neatly on top of it, as if placed there with intention. And there were 3 new photos. The first was the living room, from a low angle, like someone crawling. The second was the hallway. Closer again, and the third, just like before, was my bedroom door. Locked. Which meant the picture was taken from the inside. Even though I had locked it, and even though I had the only key, my throat tightened. The room began to feel smaller. Something wanted to be near me, even when I tried to block it out. Around noon that day, I received something new. Not a photo, a video file. For seconds long, I played it. The footage was dark, shaky, the sound of heavy, uneven breathing overwhelming the audio. Something moving too close to the microphone, whispers layered beneath the static. Then the camera flipped, pointing toward what I thought would be my apartment, but it wasn't. It showed a room I didn't recognize. Gray concrete walls. A single hanging bulb. Shadows moving along the edges, like they weren't bound by physics. That's when the video cut out. I stared at the screen, unable to breathe. Whatever was taking these photos wasn't filming from my world. At least, not only from mine. And listen, if you're still here, don't forget to subscribe. I need people watching this with me, in case something shows up in the background that I miss. I tried staying awake for 48 hours straight. I watched the hallway. I circled my apartment over and over. But on the second night, exhaustion crushed me like a weight. I passed out on the couch. When you woke up, my phone was resting on my chest, and there was a new picture. This one was different. It was a wide-angle shot of my entire living room. But the walls, they weren't my walls. They were cracked concrete, like the place from the earlier video. And in the corner of the photo, barely visible, unless you squinted, there was a hand. Long fingers, almost spider-like, pressing against the floor. The same hand shape that had been in the shadow behind me days before. It was getting bolder, less subtle, more present. I tried deleting the photos, resetting the phone, factory restart. Nothing worked. Every time I erased them, they reappeared within minutes. Sometimes sharper, sometimes more distorted, sometimes in clusters like someone was sending them in batches. Then something new appeared, a plain text note inside my photo gallery. Black background. White letters. Stay awake tonight. It wasn't a warning. It felt like a command. My breath caught. Something deep inside me stirred a human instinct. An ancient fear, not of death, but of being taken. I sat upright on my bed the entire night. Lights on, clothes on, shoes on, phone in my lap. Every sound made me flinch. Every shadow made my heart beat spike. Around 2:14 a.m., the phone buzzed. A new photo appeared. My bed. Empty. Taken from the same angle as the previous sleeping photos. Except this time, I wasn't in it, because I was sitting upright, awake, gripping my phone. Then a second photo appeared. This one showed me sitting in bed, holding the phone. But the perspective wasn't from across the room. It was from right behind me. I felt something warm exhale on my neck. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Then a third photo appeared, and this one ended everything. It showed the tall, bent figure from before, only now it was perfectly visible. Skin stretched too tightly over a frame too long. Ellos, too deep. A mouth too wide. A posture that looked both human and not human, and baited it faint, but unmistakable. The gray concrete room, as if it was pulling parts of its world into mine. I don't remember dropping the phone. I only remember hearing it hit the floor. For the first time, the thing made a sound. A slow, sharp inhale right behind me. Like it was smelling my fear. The air got colder, heavier. Like the room wasn't mine anymore. My lights flickered. The shadows changed shape, and then silence. I ran out the door, down the stairs, into the street. I didn't look back. Now I'm staying at a friend's empty apartment. Lights on. Phone off. Or at least I thought it was off. Around an hour ago, the screen lit up by itself. One new photo, a picture of the bed in this apartment. This exact room, taken minutes before I walked in. It knew where I was, where I ran, where I hid, and it's getting closer. I don't know what it wants, but I can feel it. The way people feel a storm approaching before they see the lightning. Something is coming. And before it arrives, I need as many eyes on this as possible. Please, subscribe. If this thing appears behind me, or if my camera catches something I can't see, you might be the only one who notices in time. Because I have one last photo to show you, the one that appeared while I was recording this story. It's me, standing next to this bed, but the version of me in the photos is smiling, and I'm not.